Hey guys, so today's video is one that I didn't really want to do. I really didn't want to be doing another sit down video talking to the camera for 10 minutes, but I really wanted to address a couple of the indirect negative questions and comments I've been getting from my last video announcing my second pregnancy. So I guess the first and only question I'm going to be addressing during this video is, how am I so happy and excited to have another baby at 19 years old? So, like I said in the last video, I didn't do an update video as to why I've been gone for so long and how my year has been going, because I really didn't want to address the negative anymore. But I'm going to talk a little bit in less detail about how my year has went. So January and February was spent with me suffering internally with my depression. That's when my depression really started hitting me hard. Zendaya was still breastfeeding at this point. I was trying to wean her off. She was, how old was she at this point? She was 17 months, almost 18 months, still breastfeeding, and I was really seriously struggling with that. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't function because I felt like I lived to take care of this baby. And it really started to weigh on me. It really started to affect me mentally. So January and February is when between those 2 months is when I released my depression as a mom video. In that video, I explained in detail how I was feeling and how I was suffering mentally and the things that I was going through with my depression and trying to take care of Zendaya as a single mother. That video was kind of like my last cry for help and my last way of reaching out to the people in my life to say, hey, I need you to give me a break for a couple of days. I need to step away for a couple of days to work on myself and to focus on myself. And nobody listened or nobody did anything about that. So in March, I opened up to my boyfriend and two of my closest friends about how I was feeling about Zendaya and how I was breaking being a mom. I couldn't do it anymore. It had nothing to do with me wanting to be a teenager, nothing to do with me not wanting Zendaya, and nothing to do with anything besides my mental health crashing so bad that it was affecting my daughter in a negative way. So on March 12th is when I had my tonsillectomy. After a routine, normal surgery to have my tonsils removed, I started seizing. I got transferred over to the main hospital, and I was on monitors for over 24 hours in and out of consciousness, continuing to seize. The doctors concluded that my seizures were not coming from my brain. They were not neurological. They were psychological seizures. There's a condition called PNES, which stands for pseudo non-epileptic seizures, which basically means they're seizures caused by extreme mental stress, extreme mental pain, extreme mental issues is what causes these seizures. So once I was having these seizures and my family realized that I was suffering mentally, as I said I was for the past 2 months, they finally stepped up and took my sister and my grandmother took Zendaya to watch her and care for her for me to get better. I started going to this behavioral therapy where they do brain mapping and it's more targeted therapy. I continue to see my regular therapist and I continue to try to work on why I was suffering so bad. And then COVID happened. So I was taken out of both therapies and I was no longer going. So I really started to decline. The middle of April, the day for my birthday actually, I moved in with one of my best friends. I lived with him because my house has always been a very toxic environment for me. I've never felt good here. And so my depression was just hitting me very hard. I was home by myself all day, every day, suffering. And so I've been with my best friend, and after about a month and a half there, I moved in somewhere else. And during this time, I was, like I said, not really in therapy because of COVID. And I was really rebuilding my mental health by myself. I was trying to get back on a path of mental stability, and I was working on becoming healthier for my daughter. But these past months, I fell the absolute lowest I have ever been. Now, I had 2 previous suicide attempts, and I've been hospitalized 4 times, 3 times inpatient and 1 time outpatient. I've hit rock bottom a lot of times before, but nothing has been as bad as it hit me this year. And these past months, dealing with my seizures and not having therapy and trying to mentally get myself back together by myself and having to rebuild myself alone. I've never hit rock bottom like I have this year. So when I was finally starting to get back on track and I was finally starting to be a little bit healthier, I found out I was pregnant. So when this happened, I had two choices. I can either choose to take this as a good thing and not shame myself and not fall back into a depression pit and not hit rock bottom again and not beat myself up because I've worked my ass off to get back to mental stability. Or I can hate myself for getting pregnant at 19 again. I can hate myself for not being able to get an abortion. I can hate myself for feeling like I'm ruining my boyfriend's life. I can hate myself for having two baby dads at 19. I can hate myself for my life falling apart, and I can be confused and hurt and frustrated and mad, and I can go back to a point of constant depression and constant misery and constant I hate my life, I hate myself, I want to die, I don't want to be here anymore. Those are my two options. And when you're someone like me who has mental problems, mental issues, mental illnesses, and you've had to rebuild yourself back to mental stability and back to a point of happiness, the last thing you're going to allow to happen is for you to fall back into a place of depression if you can help it. I can help it. I refuse to be ashamed and beat myself up over being pregnant again when I've spent the last 8 months of this year miserable. I have spent the last 8 months of this year at the lowest point I have ever been in my entire life. Next month, on my daughter's birthday, actually, I would have been in therapy for 5 years. I got diagnosed with my depression and started therapy a week and a half into my freshman year of high school. I was 14. I had one good year as a teenager when I was 13. One. I will be 20 in 6 months. I want to say that I enjoyed at least 6 months of my teenage years in complete happiness. I want to say I enjoyed at least 6 months of being a teenager in complete, just in a state of complete satisfaction with where my life is. I don't want to spend the last 6 months of being a teenager continuing to beat myself up after how hard this year has already been for me mentally and physically. I am already in a bad spot right now. My physical and mental health is really declining right now when it comes to my pregnancy. My seizures have returned and I've been having constant headaches. And I'm trying to fight through those right now. I'm trying to calm down my mind from overthinking and overworking and making me go back into that place of depression. And it's hard. I'm not gonna lie and sit here and say I'm having a great time. I'm not. I'm suffering still on a daily basis. But I'm working through it and I'm trying to not beat myself up over my position in my life right now. I don't want to be sad anymore. I don't want to be depressed anymore. I don't want to wake up and wish I didn't anymore. I want to be happy and I want to experience total and complete happiness. And if that means I have to be happy about being pregnant again, that's what I'm gonna do. Because there is no reason for me to spend any more time of this year of my life, of my being a teenager, of this pregnancy, of anything being miserable anymore. So yes, I am sorry if you don't agree with my life. I am sorry if you don't think I have any reason to be happy or excited over being pregnant again. But when you've lived a life like I have, and when you've spent the last 5 years of your life in and out of hospitals, trying to commit suicide, wishing you weren't alive anymore, you would also do your best to make every situation positive. And that's really all I have to say. I'm sorry if this video was kind of scattered and everywhere. I'm sorry if I'm not really that upbeat and happy either. Like I said, I have my seizures going on again, my headaches are going on again. I've been having a really hard time recently. But overall, I am trying my best to make the most out of a situation that would scare a lot of people. So lastly, I just want to thank you guys so much for all the comments I got on my last video. I really appreciate all the things that you guys were saying to me. I read all of them. I responded to all of them. And I just want to say thank you guys for your support and constant love. And hopefully this will be my last sit down video. And from now on, I'll be able to do more interesting videos like, you know, Mans and Days routine, a pregnant routine, my hauls and stuff like that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video was kind of understandable. And I will see you guys in a couple of days. Bye, guys.